Hey guys, hope everyone's having well. Remember I told you guys nothing was going to happen for about a week or through last week because it was kind of a dead period due to the holidays. So I've just been out enjoying life, having fun fishing, and right now I'm fishing with some of my hoodlums. So anyway, so we've just been having a great time getting out and enjoying life. All right, let's get into some. And actually, here's a fish that was caught by one of my hoodlums, or one of my juvenile delinquents. So I'll show it to you guys.
He wanted that worm, but
okay,
guess he couldn't have gotten it.
Guys, welcome back. All right, I've got some faith and some facts for you. This entire video is my opinion, should not be used for financial advice. Let's get into the faith side first. Okay, and just so you guys know, again, this is my opinion, nothing more. I am strongly looking to the second half of June for a financial blessing and for Iraq to go international. That's just my opinion though. Okay, let's look at this. It says, this is from Kim Clement, one of our amazing followers. Kind of figured out how to strategically search through Kim Clement's website, House of Destiny. And he used what he figured out and what he discovered. He used that to search for interesting things. And what he found is he was actually able to piece together a timeline as to the kind of the layout as to how everything would pan out. It says, let's look at the red points, the red highlights. He says, look for the Dow to reach 20,000 points and not look to Wall Street. That happened on March 17th. Okay, and then that revealed to us the starting of a season. A season is nothing more than an approximate 90 days. That's it. Okay, just an approximate 90, or an approximate 3 months, roughly in there. Okay, it says, I spoke certainly about the Dow at 20,000 points. All of this connects to massive breakthrough with regard to the dinar. Then the next red highlight, he says, a season during the summer. So he talks about a season going from March 17th into the summer. But again, a season is just an approximate 90 days or an approximate 3 months. Okay, more key points of talking about summer. Then near the bottom, he speaks of all of this as a restoration of our goods, financial property. So in a way, financial breakthrough is what he's telling us would happen during this season. Okay, then at the bottom, in red, he says, I'm going to speak of what's going to happen in the month of July. And again, this is all a prophetic word from Kim Clement through time. So he's speaking about, the season that Kim Clement spoke of started, remember, Kim Clement never gave us a year. So what he gave us was a starting point, and that starting point would be when we are looking not to Wall Street, but for the Dow to reach 27,000 or 20,000 points. That happened on March 17th. Okay, so from March 17th, we have a starting point of a season, which is nothing more than an approximate 90 days. Okay, and that walks us into, he made it very clear, into the summer months. Remember, June would be the first summer month, and a season is nothing more than an approximate 90 days. Okay, but he says at the very bottom there, he talks about July. I'm calling it a month of multiplication. All right, so July, he speaks of July, but you got to think about this carefully, because even if something, I'll give you an example. Let's say the rate, this is just an example, it's just an opinion. I'm not telling you the rate's changing on this date. Just an example, if the rate were to change, let's say on Sunday, June 21st, most people wouldn't be cashing out until probably early July anyway. That's my point to you. Is that even if the rate were to change somewhere around the end of June, most people still would not be exchanging in July. So that really, even the end of June really is July. Okay, that's what I'm trying to show you. And also remember, he said a season, but a season is nothing more than an approximate 90 days. So if we just use again June 21st as an example, that's from March 17th to June 21st is exactly 96 days. But if you Google the time frame of a season, Google will tell you it's an approximate 3 months. Nothing more, just an approximate 3 month period, not an exact. Okay, so I want to stress that to you. So anyway, so there's your kind of scenario that one of our amazing followers found out, that The key points in this is we know it's a season, okay, which is just an approximate 3-month period. The starting point, since a year was never revealed, the starting point was March 17th when the Dow did go down to 20,000 points. We know it's happening over a summer period right here. We know it has to do with kind of a restoration of financial good. It's going to be financial breakthrough, okay? And we know July was pointed out to us as the month of multiplication. But again, the end of June can still be part of July, okay? So just want to show that to you. That's the faith side of this. Now, and one thing I want to stress to you guys is when I got into this, I've been in for 11 years. Clear back in 2009 and even in 2010, many Christians in this were coming out and they kept saying that they were sensing Christmas in July. I just want to stress that to you guys, okay? Let's get to the factual side. So one of the things I stressed to you guys was that last month I brought something interesting to you guys. I told you that the rate can really only change most likely over what would be a holiday period. And it can be a holiday they make up. It doesn't have to be a public declared holiday. It doesn't have to be like a known public holiday. It can be one that they just create and pull out of thin air, okay? And they need that to justify shutting down their in-country financial markets, okay? So the two qualifications I told you have to be over a weekend and over some kind of a holiday, whether it's a public holiday or one that they fabricate, all right? So another one of our amazing followers sent this to me. This is an email alert from the brokerage company that they do the ISX trading through. And this email alert was sent to them. It says, "Dear client, we want to announce that the Iraqi government will impose a quarantine and prevent from May 31st to June 6th, okay? Now, let's look at this for a second, though. They're resuming a pattern that they did during the last quarantine period. During that last quarantine period, which went from roughly March 17th through, I'm guessing it was probably early May or end of April, whatever. During that time period, they kept extending the ISX shutdown. They just kept extending it like week by week, and they would tell you either for a 1 week period or 2 week period increments at a time. They're back to doing that, okay? They just did that during this past week for Eid, and then they just came out yesterday on Saturday telling us they're going to extend it, okay, now for another week. So you notice they're back to their same old patterns where they just keep extending this makeshift quarantine period due to the coronavirus. They're now just back to extending it week by week by week, okay? There's a very good chance they will probably extend this coronavirus holiday period probably through the end of June. That's what I want to stress to you guys. So they're probably going to have a fabricated holiday period going through the end of June. That's what I want to stress to you guys, okay? Because I told you it had to be a weekend and a holiday. All right, let's get into the facts. Now, on a factual level, I told you guys there's two things you had to see before the rate can happen within Iraq, because we have been waiting for the last 2 years since the last elections, which were in May of 2018. We have been looking for Iraq to even just form their government for 2 complete years. We've been looking for them to form the government, okay? And so with them needing to finish and complete their government, okay, why would they need to finish their government? What's significant? Well, this is past the corruption. This has nothing to do. Corruption's already gone and removed. And I don't care about small levels of corruption. Every country and every government has small levels of corruption. I'm talking about the large levels of corruption that turned some of the former Iraqi politicians into billionaires. That's the level of corruption that I'm talking about. Those gentlemen are gone. That was Maliki, Mossad Barzani Sr., Najafi. All those dudes are gone. Those guys are billionaires. They're gone. They've been removed. Okay, we don't care about the corruption. What we care about here is, the Trump administration and the powers that be have theoretically had to babysit Iraq. They've had to babysit them because these clowns can't. It's getting them to work together. That's Iraq's biggest challenge, is getting the three political factions working together, the Sunnis, Kurds, and Shias. They haven't been able to work together. They couldn't even form their government. If they can't form their government, if they can't work together, they can't get anything done. That's why the powers that be, the Trump administration, are forcing them to be able, at a minimum, to work together to form their government. Then they can go international and change rate. That's why you've been seeing for 2 years, most of the 90% of the news articles coming out over the last 2 years have always talked about Iraq forming their government. Okay, it's about getting them to work together, and then once they can work together and get things done together, then the powers that be will let them go international. Let's look at that. That was one. So to do all that now, we know that they need to finish the last 7 ministers and Baghdad and Kurd. We're looking for. Here's what we're looking for. We're looking for Iraq to come out and schedule a session of parliament to finish the last 7 ministers. Then they have to finish their budget and oil agreements between Kurdistan and Baghdad. So we're looking for a Kurdish delegation to come to Baghdad. Those are the 2 main things that have to happen. But guys, everything will happen the same week. Okay, so even though I'm sharing it with you kind of as 2 different scenarios, they'll still finish both the same week. Okay, so don't worry about that. Now, let's look at the factual articles. Okay, right now there's a lot of articles coming out. Remember, the number one thing they lie to you about is when they give you dates. They have to do with voting on stuff, whatever. Those, anytime they give you dates, they're lies. In my opinion, they're not going to vote. This is just my opinion, but in my opinion, I think that they're going to wait to vote on the last 7 ministers and send a Kurdish delegation until roughly the week of the 17th. I'm not saying on the 17th, I'm saying the week of the 17th. Okay, that's what I'm trying to share with you. So let's look at these facts. Parliament Rapporteur for Al-Murbad Al-Kazemi has completed his booth, and the voting session may be held soon. Okay, so the Prime Minister Mustafa Kazemi has completed his cabinet. As a result, the next few days may witness a session to vote on the remaining ministries, but the cabinet has not yet been fully presented to Parliament. Okay, so they're saying in the next few days they may vote. Okay, remember, they've been playing that game for a long time. So let's look at the next article. So in the first article, they're telling you that Kazemi has his government done and ready to go to Parliament. It's ready for vote. Okay, and then on this one, they're saying that Kurdistan and Kazemi have reached a historic agreement. Okay, the government of the Prime Minister Kazemi is going to solve one of the most complicated issues since the establishment of the new Iraqi regime after the year of 2003, after the government documents revealed the signs of an agreement described historically between the federal government and the Kurdistan regional government, organizes the financial relationship between the 2 parties and ends decades of uncertainty and exchange accusations. Okay, so right there, they're saying that Kazemi and Kurdistan have reached agreements. Okay, and then in the next paragraph, they're saying, according to the document seen by the people, correspondence between the federal government and the territorial government, and in Arbil's approval of the federal government's proposal to conduct a final settlement that could end decades of differences. So they're saying that Kurdistan and Kazemi have reached an agreement. Okay, let's go to look at the next article. The disclosure of a crucial agreement between Erbil and Baghdad pending the signature of Al-Kazemi in the coming days. So another article telling us Kurdistan and Baghdad have agreements. Okay. Kurdistan Democratic Party, Abdel Karim, revealed on Saturday the intention of Kurdish forces to send a high-level delegation to Baghdad to discuss the outstanding issues, noting that the final and comprehensive agreement between Baghdad and Erbil is complete and is ready for signature by Kazemi. The final and comprehensive agreement between Erbil and Baghdad is ready since December, but the launching of the demonstrations in the previous government submitting its resignation, preventing the signing of the agreement, and the statement to the information He added the negotiations are currently taking place to re-sign the comprehensive agreement to resolve the budget crisis, borders, customs, federal revenues, Peshmerga, agriculture, and other files. Likely the signing of the agreement by Prime Minister Kazemi in the coming days. Abdul Karim said a large Kurdish delegation will visit Baghdad in the coming days to put final touches on the agreement, as well as agree to complete the ministerial cabinet. So remember how I told you everything would happen at the same time between like the Kurdistan Baghdad agreement and the remaining 7 ministers? They're telling you that here right too. They said that in the coming days they're going to send a Kurdish delegation to Baghdad, and then in this last sentence it says, and the final touches on the agreement, as well as complete the ministerial cabinet. Okay, so they're talking about everything happening right there at the same time, like I've been telling you. Okay, here's another article telling you that there's another agreement. Okay, Alawi struck a deal with the Kurds. That's just another Kurdish agreement. Okay, we're not going to read that. You guys already have the gist of it. The Iraqi government officially approached the borrowing of the external borrowing. What that means, external borrowing, guys, they're telling you they're out of money. Okay, that's why they cannot wait too much longer. Okay, so we're not going to read that whole article. Here's another one. They set a date for a parliament session to vote on the vacant ministries. The deputy in the House of Representatives announced today, Sunday, the date session of parliament to vote on the vacant ministries in the government of Mustafa Kazemi. Al-Rikbi said during our meeting with him before the blessed Eid al-Fitr confirmed the names of the vacant ministries candidates, and he will set a session with the Speaker of Parliament to vote on because of the Eid holiday. The date session had been postponed. He pointed out this week there will be a session granting so they're telling you again that they're going to try to do it this coming week. I strongly disagree. Now guys, again, this whole video is my opinion, should not be used for financial advice. One of the things I've always stressed to you guys is everything has to happen. It has everything to do with accounting periods. Let me point something out to you on that. Now, again, I'm not giving you a date, just giving you a possibility here. It's just something as to how it could play out. Let's look at when Kuwait did theirs from a generic perspective. I don't care about the month right now, and I don't care about what quarter it was. Okay, let's just look at the generic details. They did it on March 24th. What is March? March is nothing more than the last month of a quarter. They did it on the March 24th. The 24th would be the end of the 3rd week of that month. Okay, so again, they did it over like at the end of the 3rd week in the last month of the quarter. Okay, let's look at something here for a second. Remember, it would have been 2 Fridays ago. I gave you a strategic article where from 2 Fridays ago, they said within 30 days they were going to try to have everything done from the 7 ministers to that Kurdish agreement. Okay, and they said that from 2 Fridays ago. That was okay. So from 2 Fridays ago, when they said about 30 days, that actually takes you to right around June 21st. You guys don't know what June 21st is? It's what I just talked about. It's June is the last month of a quarter. The 21st would be the end of the 3rd weekend of the month. Okay, that's all it is. So I'm just trying to show you guys an example here of how it could play out, nothing more. Okay, so now here's what you're looking for. And again, this part's my opinion, but I'm going to tell you what you're looking for to bring confirmation into this. Okay, what you're looking for is this. They're gonna right now. They're just playing games right now. We need just a few more weeks in this. Okay. So here's what you're looking for. You're looking for them to come out and announce to you that there's a specific week they're gonna have and hold a session of Parliament to vote on the last 7 ministers, and then during that same week they'll send a Kurdish delegation to Baghdad as well. That's the confirming factual information you are looking for. Okay. Now, the part that's my opinion is I don't think you're going to see any of this happen until roughly the week of June 17th. Not on the 17th, just the week of the 17th, okay? So, but again, when you see them come out and say, hey, we're going to have and hold a session of Parliament during a specific week, and that they're going to actually send a Kurdish delegation directly to Baghdad, that's what you're looking for. And once they do it, okay, very shortly after they complete those items, they will change the rate. Now, I want you to think about Why would they do this? And why would they do it like that? Think about this for a second. If Kazemi just got in, he got his government formed right away, okay? So if Kazemi finishes his government, reaches an agreement with Kurdistan, and then were to change the rate on the weekend, say immediately after doing that, let's just, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say they finish those last two items during the week of the 17th, and then let's say they change the rate over the weekend of June 21st. What that did was, right at that point, Kazemi just tackled and completed a lot of key steps, and he looks amazing to the Iraqi citizens. That's how they most likely want this to play out. They want him to get everything done and look amazing to the citizens, and then if he changes the rate right away, he just looks amazing to the citizens, and that's most likely how they want this to unfold. Okay, so anyway guys, there you go. There's all the latest information. God bless you guys and have an amazing day.